Jim, thanks. It's been almost a year since the collapse of a Surfside condo in South Florida, and now federal investigators are talking about their investigation. Part of the Champlain Towers near Miami Beach collapsed in the middle of the night on June 24th. 98 people were killed. It was the third deadliest building collapse in the U.S. behind the World Trade Center attack and the Oklahoma City bombing. Our Vic Micolucci reported from the scene after the collapse and tells us what investigators discussed in a meeting today.
The point is not only to find out what happened and who may be responsible for the Surfside condo collapse, it's to hopefully prevent future tragedies at other high-rises.
Almost 1 year ago, the Champlain Towers collapsed with families inside. How could you forget these images? The piles of rubble, concrete and rebar that crushed nearly 100 people.
What we have come to understand so far is that there were likely several contributing factors to the collapse.
Today, we're hearing from federal investigators. They're with the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST. 6 teams within the agency are working to piece together what went wrong. They discussed their plans and progress at their committee meeting today.
Our goal is to identify the origin of evidence specimens in the building when possible.
From concrete chunks, pieces of metal, and ground samples to interviews, building records, and surveillance video. Experts are looking at everything, using computer software, drones, and sensors to put it all together. The physical evidence is at a warehouse in Miami, where it'll be sent off for testing.
These tests will be performed at various outside labs at universities, private companies, and/or government facilities.
Congress gave NIST $22 million in emergency funding to complete a report and give recommendations for the future.
We know that to bring about real change and avert future failures, we need to ensure that improvements in codes and standards are actually carried into practice. Code adoption, code enforcement, education, and quality assurance are some of these necessary steps.
And there's still a long way to go with this probe. Federal investigators say they don't expect to wrap up their investigation and release their report until 2024. I'm Vic Micolucci, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you, Vic. Families of those who lost their lives in the collapse will split a more than $1 billion settlement that was reached last month.